Challenges and roadblocks happen in cloth diapering. How do you get through them? Today we'll get some encouragement from our cute chat with Cloth Mamas. Hey, I'm Jamie with ClothCuties.com, a site designed to encourage you to cloth diaper your baby. From an infant through the toddler years, I've got the tips and tricks you need to simplify your cloth diapering experience. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, and hey to all my new subscribers. Today we are finishing up part 2 of our first cute chat with Cloth Mamas. Y'all, if you missed part 1 with Dr. Tiffany Burnett, you really missed a treat. You gotta go back and watch last month's Cute Chats with Cloth Mamas. It was our first and introductory episode to this series that we're adding to the channel. And in those series, you'll hear from different moms about their cloth diapering challenges, their victories, just their stories about how they got into this whole cloth diapering lifestyle. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. And today we're going to finish up with Dr. Tiffany Burnett, and she's going to dive into roadblocks, challenges, dealing with potty training. Dr. Tiffany dropped so many gems, y'all. So it's about time for us to pick up right where we left off. Cloth diapering, strengthening the family bond. Let's get right to it.
I think it helped with like a connection, because it was like, like, oh, this is something we did. And it was like, oh, I didn't know that, because you wouldn't never really think to ask, your mother-in-law. And then our family lives in different states, so it's like you don't have like some of those like casual conversations when stuff comes up, like when you're just around people more. And so it was a good opportunity for connection and sharing about like what were things like when my husband was a baby, and then hearing about my mom, and it's like, oh, I didn't realize that you guys cloth diaper, her and my aunts cloth diapered us, and like my cousins, at least at some point. I don't know if it was like at the very beginning or what, but it was like good family background.
Look at cloth diapers bringing families together.
Right. It's not new. It's not new to us. No, we just gotta keep it on the forefront, bring it back to the forefront.
Yeah, and that's one of the big misconceptions, right? Is that cloth diapering is harder, or like we're reinventing the wheel by doing it now as modern moms. It's totally not that. We cloth diapers been around. People know how to do it, and it's okay. What is one roadblock or challenge that you've had in cloth diapering, and if you've been able to solve it, what's been your solution?
I think the main kind of only hiccup I had was like figuring out. So I remember with the flats with my daughter, and not like, I didn't realize, like, I was like, oh, these aren't absorbing as much, but it was just like, oh, I need to switch up to a different, absorbency level. And so that was that's kind of the main challenge, is like you're always trying to figure out the right absorbency for like whether it's if you're going out for the day, or like with my son, he was a much more heavier wetter than my daughter, and so that was a little bit different, like figuring out what would work for him. Figuring out like nighttime, so like when they transition from waking up, you know every so often, or like, every 2 hours, they can sleep longer, but their diaper might not last as long, because we used to have multiple changes at night. And so you're always on your toes trying to figure out the right what would work best. But through trial and error, and the internet is so good, because we have that as a resource now, so you're not having to figure it all out by yourself. But that's probably one of the challenges of. And you're like, if you have a leak, like you're like, well, why did that leak? That should not have leaked, or what happened? Or like, oh, it was they were wet, and then the car seat smushed it, and so it's gonna squeeze out. You're like, what happened here? How did this happen? So it's a lot of problem solving in that sense of just like, what happened here?
Yeah, but there are always like solutions, and there are ways to figure it out, right? To keep going,
Yeah.
because that's one of the things too, that it can get difficult when you kind of find yourself in these roadblocks. One of my big pain points was nighttime, and we used
Mhm.
all-in-ones a lot, and pocket diapers a lot, and my son loved to sleep on his tummy. So
Mhm.
almost like every night he'd be waking up just his tummy just wet, and
Yeah.
like figuring that out is definitely hard, but even though there's some pain points and some challenges, it's not anything you can't work through, or figure out another solution that works. Like, I recently told on the channel that I started using disposables at night. I mean, that ended up being
Mhm.
the thing that got me more sleep. So,
Yeah.
just figuring out which avenue works for you.
Yeah, and that's the same, like, and how every kid is different. Like my daughter, she like naturally kind of stopped going at night, like kind of when she got close to 1 or so. So it was pretty rare for her to go at night. But my son, he just doesn't um he's not there yet. And so like we had switched to like pull-ups at night because he was like potty trained during the day and could go fine, but at night or like at nap time sometimes, like if I don't catch him at the right moment, it's like he's not able to control it. So it's like figuring out what works best for you, and just paying attention to your kids because you know them the best, and so you know kind of their routine and what goes on, and that kind of led me also into doing some like elimination communication stuff too with them. And
Mhm.
so like um putting them on the potty for that first pee in the morning when they wake up, because knowing after they wake up they're going to have to pee. And so it kind of just um, helped with the potty learning without any pressure. So it's just like a
Yeah.
part of our routine. Like, okay, we got up, go in the bathroom. I have to go, you go. It's like as a mom, you don't get the privacy, but they start learning their bodies a lot earlier, and so and you get to help them. It becomes, I think, less pressure, and I think with potty training is kind of, it seems like for me, the earlier I get them to, start working on it, then I don't get into like those, 2-year-old independent power struggle kind of situations. And so
Stubbornness.
we start working at
Stubbornness.
it a little bit earlier. And then it's like, it's just regular. It's not like something mommy wants you to do. Then they're good with it.
Yeah, and that's so true. Like, it's always this balance between like momming, like, yeah, you don't get the privacy as much, but then you have a win for your kid a little bit earlier, and it's less of a
Yeah.
struggle. So like you gotta pick and choose those battles all the time. So what has
Right.
cloth diapering taught you as a mom, or how has it impacted your motherhood journey?
I think it definitely um kind of leads you on to like the questioning of why we do things the way we do, like even from like in pregnancy. And a lot of people assume things like whether it's diapers or formula or you know different parenting strategies. And so I think cloth diapering kind of pushed me to reconsider a lot of things that were kind of the norm or what I thought were the norm, and just start asking questions. And then it's like, oh, this isn't, you know, that extreme or out there is what I thought. So whether it's, what type of products you use on your skin, and it kind of connects to other areas. So like in your personal, like natural hair community, it's like, questioning about the things you put on your hair, whether it's your makeup. So it translates into what you're, put on your baby's skin, and what type of parent you want to be, whether it's like, conscious parenting, and just really questioning things about how you grew up, how you want your kids to grow up. They're different worlds, how we grew up than what our kids are growing up in. So just really asking those questions, and figuring out what works best for my family.
Oh yeah, that all of that. The questioning and becoming curious. I heard someone say it the other day. Like, you
Mhm.
have to become curious about the things that are happening with your child, and cloth diapering is definitely. I have the same experience. Like, cloth diapering is definitely kind of shaped how I approach parenting in a lot of ways that I totally didn't expect. What is your, just quick answer, your favorite style of cloth diaper?
Pockets.
Pockets. Did you try multiple brands of diaper when you were cloth diapering?
This is not a short answer, but like I really just went with like the cheapest ones that like came in packs. And like I wanted to get into like, you know, the fancy fun covers, but I would always put it off, and I just ended up not doing it because I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Okay, I'll get that then. And then I ended up not doing it. But I loved, you know, the ones that come in like bundles or multi-packs.
And that's important to mention because one of the huge benefits of cloth diapering is how much money you can save. So if you can be economical in your choices and like buy them in a way that saves money, like that's the point.
Yeah, yeah. And so and I think it would have been different like if I would have been like I didn't really go to the stores here to get stuff. So I was doing a lot of stuff online. And I think that made it easier to, you know, save money because then I could just like close the window or, you know, not, I wouldn't be worried about it. And so, but like if I was say in Dallas and like Crunchy Boutique was like nearby, I would probably have been in there a lot more than, you know,
For real,
when
for
I
real.
would look
Yeah.
at other stores online or just, you know, like Instagram or Facebook and you're like, oh, look at that cute little pattern. That's so cute. But it's easier to close it.
For sure.
And wanting to
Like
support Black businesses. Yeah.
yes, yes. And I didn't know that there were so many. Did you know that there were a ton of Black-owned businesses for cloth diapering when you first started with Aria?
I didn't. And I don't know if it's like if it was I just didn't know about them yet, or if they were like just getting started around the same time and I, you know, hadn't heard about them. But yeah, I think if I was starting now, I would probably, you know, like because a lot of places like you can register for stuff or like, you know, get gift cards or, you know, it's more stuff that you could send it to somebody and be like, hey, these or as a gift. But it really wasn't like that, or at least I didn't know about it at the time.
Yeah, same. I didn't know about it, and that wasn't in my Google search either. So I wasn't searching out Black cloth diaper
Yeah.
companies at that time. So yeah. So if you had to give one piece of encouragement to a mom who is considering cloth diapering, what would that be?
Do it. You can always go back. Like the diapers are always going to be, disposables are always going to be at the store. And you don't have to, the other advice is it's not a one size fits all. So I've cloth diapered, you know, taken my cloth diapers when I've traveled. I've also used disposable when we traveled, you know, in the before times. But yeah, it's like, you know, if you travel and like if I was going to like my parents or my husband's parents, we would take the cloth and just, you know, use their washing machine, same as we would at home. If we were at a hotel, we'll take, you know, disposables, or even we did like disposable liners. So there's always a way to do what you would like to do. So don't feel like you have to do it the way, you know, somebody else says. You can figure out what works for you.
I love that. I love that. And that is the way I think we are going to end this, because however you work it to make it work for you and your family, like that is essentially like what we want to get across with cloth diapering. Like you can make it happen. You can totally make it happen. I love that. Thank you, Tiffany. My first interview.
Thank you.
Y'all, that wraps up my first cute chat with a cloth mama, Dr. Tiffany Burnett, and woo, she knocked my socks off with some of those things she said. You drop a comment below and tell me what was your favorite moment, or what did you learn from this video that just was an aha moment for you. If you enjoyed this first introductory cute chat, make sure you give us a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss another one. We have so many exciting interviews planned and I don't want you to miss one. So hit that subscribe button. As always, guys, you can find me also on clothcuties.com for more information to help you simplify your cloth diapering. Bye guys, see you next time.